With the year moving on and winter approaching, let's look at the health, safety and environmental aspects for the WITS community for this month. This month's awareness focuses on hazard identification and risk assessment, or HIRA as the safety aspect, burn awareness as the health aspect, and bees and the environment. Let's get started. Hazard identification and risk assessment, or HIRA. This means identifying potential dangers within the workplace and assessing that should any illness, injury, or damage occur, how serious that would be. The reason that HIRA is important is to prevent accidents, create a safe environment, and ensure legal compliance. Let's look at how to identify hazards and assess the risks. Identify hazards by looking around the workplace and seeing what could harm be to the individuals or damage to property. Do a take two. A take two means taking 2 minutes to look around the workplace to see if there's anything that can harm, or look at the area or the environment as if it's the first time you're in that place. Assessing the risks once identified and how they are likely to hurt somebody or how severe those injuries could be. There is a need to prioritize these hazards and how to address them to implement measures and controls that could avoid harm. Controlling measures by deciding how to eliminate or reduce the risks that can fix the hazards, and by providing safety equipment that will support the control measures that have been implemented. Staff need to be trained on the safety practices and to be aware of the hierarchy of controls to help with this process. Let's have a look at the hierarchy of controls in more detail. Eliminate, completely removing the hazard. This is the most effective way of dealing with the hazard within the workplace. Substitute, replacing the materials or the process with a less hazardous way of doing things or using materials. Redesign or separate, redesigning the equipment or the process to isolate the hazard by guarding against any injuries or illnesses that could harm the individual, as well as looking after the environment, and let's not forget damage to property. And enclosing it, restricting access so that people don't have the opportunity to willy-nilly walk in and out. Least effective are admin controls, such as training or procedures or things like that. This is left up to a lot of times to the individuals for them to actually ensure that they can remember what has been said, understand what has been said in such a way that they will do the right thing when it is needed, and to make sure that if anything happens, that they know how to raise the alarm. PPE, the least effective of everything, is personal protective equipment. And this means that you need to make sure that people use the PPE, that they are trained on how to use it effectively, and also understand the limitations in terms of the PPE being used. Remember, with any of the risks that have been or hazards that have been identified and the risk control measures that have been put into place. This needs to be documented, as well as ensuring that the control measures that have been put in place are not causing or could cause more risks to the individuals. As a health aspect, let's look at the awareness around burns. Burn hazard prevention and safety guidelines. Identifying potential burn hazards in the workplace can arise from multiple sources and must be clearly identified to prevent injuries. Thermal burns caused by exposure to hot surfaces, open flames, steam, or heated equipment. Chemical burns results from contact with hazardous chemicals such as acids, alkalines, and solvents. Electrical burns occur due to electrical current passing through the body, often caused by faulty equipment or unsafe work practices. Sun exposure burns are due to prolonged exposure to ultraviolet or UV radiations from the sun, particularly for persons working outside. Implementing safety measures that are effective control measures must be implemented to reduce the risk of burn injuries, such as personal protective equipment or PPE must be provided and enforced to be used, such as heat-resistant gloves, face shields, protective clothing, and safety footwear. The PPE is to be well maintained, fit for purpose, and regularly inspected. Another way of controlling things is proper storage and handling. Storing hazardous chemicals must be clearly labeled and in designated areas. Need to follow the safe procedures, including the use of material safety data sheets or MSDSs or safety data sheets or safety or SDS. This is a document that actually spells out what the chemical made up. There's 16 points in a material safety data sheet, okay, or MSDS. It is the known numbers, but all that information, with all the information related to the chemical. However, the most important is how do you deal with an emergency and how do you deal with a first aid issue. The other thing to do with is properly ventilated areas where people are working with volatile substances. When we look at electrical safety, you need to regularly inspect the electrical tools and equipment for damage. If it's damaged, then avoid using it. Don't overload circuits or use only appropriate electrical devices. That means that you cannot use something which has been condemned, something that hasn't been fixed correctly, or somebody that's put tape around something. Please don't do that, because you can be injured. Ensure lockout, tagout, or lotto procedures are followed during maintenance. Training and awareness arises that you make sure the stands and that the education is done. So regular training, conduct ongoing safety training of burn hazards prevention and the safe work practices, including emergency response procedures and the proper use of PPE. Signage and labeling, declaring clear in HIRA, ensure that all hazardous materials are properly labeled and identified. Emergency preparedness, making sure that people have a quick and effective response time in any cases of incidences. So having first aid kits or boxes available that are fully stocked and are readily available, that include burn treatment supplies such as sterilized dressings or burn gels. The emergency procedures, ensuring that communicating clear emergency procedures is one of your top priority on training the staff on how to respond to incidences, including reporting protocols, ensuring that if anybody has been splashed with chemicals, that the emergency showers and eye wash stations are available where required. Working practices, maintaining a safe and organized work environment that can reduce risks. So by doing maintenance cleaning up spills, clutter, and unnecessary hazards that may be in the workplace, promptly cleaning any hazardous substances, making sure that monitoring and inspecting of the area, the equipment, the storage areas, or the work processes are done on a regular basis, identifying and correct hazards immediately, and encourage reporting of unsafe conditions and near-miss incidences. Preventing burn injuries requires a proactive approach that includes hazard identification, implementing of safe protocols, continuous training, and strong workplace practices. By following these guidelines, organizations can significantly reduce the risks of burn-related incidences and maintain a safe working environment. The importance of bees in the environment. Bees play a critical role in maintaining healthy ecosystems and support global food systems. Through pollination, bees are essential to transfer pollen between plants and enabling reproduction, which supports plant growth and sustainability. Food production. A significant portion of crops rely on bees' pollination, directly contributing to the global food security and agricultural productivity. With biodiversity, by facilitating plant reproduction, plants help sustain diverse plant species, which in turn support a wide range of animal life. Supporting of wildlife, bees contribute significantly to the maintaining the balance of ecosystems by supporting other species by habitat creation. Pollinating plants provide habitats and shelters for various wildlife species, promoting ecosystem stability. Food chain support. Plants sustained through pollination form the foundations of many food chains, ensuring that the survival of the herbivores and subsequently predators. Bees are valuable indicators in environmental health and ecology balance. Ecosystem health. Healthy bees population signals a well-functioning ecosystem, while declines may include environmental stress, pollution, and habitat loss. Bees contribute significantly both to the local and global economies. Through agriculture, pollination services provided by bees enhance crop yield and quality, supporting farmers and agricultural industries. Through products, bees produce valuable natural products such as honey, beeswax, and royal jelly, which have nutritional and medical uses. Bees are independently and indispensable to the environmental sustainability, biodiversity, and economic stability. Protecting the bee population through conservation efforts and responsible environmental practices is essential for maintaining healthy ecosystems and reducing future and securing future food supplies. So, in summary, HIRA: prevent accidents, create a safe working environment, ensure legal compliance. Process: identify the hazard, assess the risk, implement control measures by using the hierarchy of controls. Burn awareness: identify potential burn hazards in your area, implement safe measures, supply training, awareness and information to all persons working in those areas, communicate emergency preparedness and procedures, and encourage good working practices. Bees in the environment. Bees help through pollination, help support wildlife. We need to be aware of environmental indicators where bees are concerned and understanding the economic impacts that bees have through the global food sources. Thank you for watching and listening to this awareness contribution for this month. For